I want to take you on a journey today into the arcane and obfuscating world of Dwarf Fortress. It's a game so labyrinthine in its depth, so meticulous in its details, that it tends to scare all but the most adept or insane of us from ever taking the plunge. If you've never played Dwarf Fortress, or even heard of it, I can't fault you. Far from the AAA titles of today, Dwarf Fortress is a game that sulks in the shadows. A free title that is still considered in its alpha testing stage, despite being deeper and more complex than any other game I know of. Its creators Tarn and Zach Adams assure us that it will take at least another 15 years to complete as of this video. And remember, this is a game that has been in development since 2002 already. And yes, what you're seeing on your screen right now is the game. Part of what turns away most potential players in Dwarf Fortress is its intimidating graphic style, if you can call it a graphical style. The game is presented entirely in ASCII symbols. Now of course, if you're a filthy casual like myself, you can also use graphics packs to make things a little easier to understand. And I'll be doing this for this video. In the main mode of Dwarf Fortress, you take charge of a group of dwarves sent out of their capital to create a new settlement. You don't take direct control of these dwarves, instead you assign jobs and tasks and they'll perform them as they see fit. Every dwarf has personality, their own moods, goals, aspirations. Every dwarf has their own unique appearance and preferences too. In fact, there are details at the granular level about everything. The geography of the whole world is generated initially, and the world exists as a consistent entity. Kingdoms rise and fall, armies mount attacks, scholars write their masterpieces, dangerous warlocks discover dark spells. Great beasts roam the lands, leaving terror in their wake. The creator's aim is to have a fully realized fantasy simulator, and they're already a step ahead of all other games of its type. Dwarf Fortress expects the player to have a great deal of imagination, and it's not just because of its minimal graphics, but because it essentially has little to no endgame to it. There's really just one rule: survive. When you finally get used to playing the game, it isn't actually too challenging to keep a healthy fort running for multiple years, but that isn't the point. You're expected to challenge yourself. Why not go deep down and see what horrors await you in the caverns? Or maybe go below that? Why not build a fort above the ground where more dangers present themselves? Why not settle down in a land tainted with evil, where it rains acidic blood, and were-lizards roam the plains? Dwarf Fortress presents you with a fully realised world, and then it just leaves you there to do what you want. To challenge yourself. Like I mentioned, even learning to play the game is a challenge. And in all honesty, I do think the user interface could be a little more consistent and easier to follow, as it doesn't really contribute to the difficulty of the game, only the ease of access for new players. And I'd want lots of players to experience this if they could. But we are still in alpha testing though, and maybe that will come down the line. Now of course, if you don't fancy driving a civilization of hapless dwarves into the ground, you can always play adventure mode, where you take control of a single character and go on wacky adventures across your procedurally generated world. For example, I once put all my points for a character in the throw skill, and then killed a sleeping titan by throwing bits of debris at him over and over. Sadly, that character got eaten by wolves later. Both modes also feed into each other. The antics of your adventure mode heroes are talked about and engraved in the art of dwarves that heard about them, and the adventurers you play as can visit the forts you've made and abandoned. There is so much personality in everything this game does, and despite the fact you're only staring at a handful of pixels, it feels so alive and fresh. Now I'm aware this game isn't everyone's cup of tea, but if you can break through the surface, I heartily recommend checking out a game like no other. You You can download it for free on their official website, but I recommend visiting the Reddit or the wiki and downloading the starter packs there and reading the latest guides. Dwarf Fortress is something unique and quite special. Despite it being overwhelmingly difficult to get into, I still recommend you give it a try.